It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
Here is the next one. This is from Nosilla. How do you recommend saving for midterm maybes, aka big ticket goals that don't have a firm timeline yet? And for the example they used was like a car or a house or a wedding. So it sounds like, they've been working through their order of operations. They know they need their emergency fund, but there are other things they think they might want to save for, like an automobile or like a house or like a car. Does that just go into a savings account, or are there other ways you can think about accumulating those dollars?
Well, and look, I love this. When you're talking in terms of the financial order of operations, step one is deductibles covered. That's just to keep your life out of the financial ditch for the emergencies that pop up. I like with emergency reserves, step 4 of the financial order of operations, since it is a range of typically for a working person, it's 3 to 6 months. For a person that is, in retirement, it can go 18 to 36 months who's actually retired. So, but when you have a range of somebody who has 3 to 6 months, you will find that allows you to have a lot of flexibility on these one-off things like car purchases and things that are, as you put it, midterm maybe goals, hopefully get built into that. And here's the other part. I want to give some freedom. I think if you're saving 20 to 25% of your income, sometimes your cash is going to run a little rich because of these buckets that you've set up for cars, for a big vacation that's going to take 2 or 3 years to save for, or even just opportunity capital so that when there's distortions in the marketplace, you're available. But you didn't hear me say that we're going to do this in lieu of saving. I still think that you got to make sure. That's why we created the financial order of operations. So go get the free money from your employer, pay off the high interest debt. Where does the Roth and HSA and all the maxing out the retirement? You got to know where those things fall into it so you know how to do these one-off things, because I'm hoping that 3 to 6 months reserves is going to also give you the froth to help you buy the cars and other things as well.
Now, one thing that I struggle with is that, money you're saving in cash right now is not paying a ton, right?
Yeah.
There's a likelihood you're leaving money on the table. Well, if these things you're saving for could potentially be farther out than like 4, 5, 6 years, you start beginning to really think about the opportunity cost loss for that money sitting there. So I think if you do have an unknown goal that you think might be 48 to 60 months in the future or greater, I don't think there's anything crazy about dollar cost averaging that savings into some sort of well-diversified or conservative balanced allocation inside of an after-tax account. So it's not just saving up all cash. I think you still should save up cash, and certainly save up cash for things that are going to happen in the next 36 to 48 months. But after that period, I don't think there's anything wrong with just dollar cost averaging into a nice conservative balanced fund to do so.
I do want to give some guidance that I think will also help with this question. Realize what step 4, emergency reserves, we talk about 3 to 6 months of income. You don't live off your income.
Nope.
You live off of your monthly expenses. So guys, that 3 to 6 months already has a little froth because it's got your savings in it. It's got, taxes and other things that are going away. If you want to know where the bare bones of where the bone is, where you don't cut into your life too much and get caught naked, go figure out what 3 to 6 months of your living expenses are, because that's kind of what you need to keep yourself safe with. And then what the difference between living expenses versus the 3 to 6 months of income, that's a little bit of a margin that you could use for some of these midterm goals as well. But it also will keep you honest with yourself so you know where to not go, where no-go land is. And that's why you need to know what your monthly expenses are so you can kind of make sure you know where those guardrails are.
That's great.